So in this video, I want to share with you something very important that most people are not interested in hearing. I want to talk about why this time is not different, or most likely not, because all that you're seeing on other channels and social media is, hey, we're going to the moon, buy this for 100x, buy this for 1000x altcoins, and everyone is saying moon, 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 this time is different, we're never going to crash again, mass adoption, Supercycle, and I don't actually think that is the case. So let me be a bit cautious here and show you what I think could potentially happen. And if it does end up going to the moon and always continues going up, that is fantastic. But in case it doesn't and I'm right, you should probably watch the rest of this video. What's up guys, Dirk here, happy Wednesday. I hope you are having an amazing day. Bitcoin is at all-time highs, very close to it. Ethereum just set new all-time highs. So the whole market is pumping. This is fantastic. We are in what I think is the last phase of the bull run. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure you click the notification bell. And guys, please do me a favor, smash the like button, hit that thumbs up. It gets the video out to more people, it gets the channel out to more people, and then it helps me make these videos because then I know it's not for nothing. The more people it reaches, obviously, the better it is and the more videos I can continue to make for all of you here for free. Okay, so I suspect that this video is obviously not going to be as popular because it never is when things are pumping and, you know, there's people saying, hey, maybe you should be cautious, take profits, lock in some of those gains. And I think, look, before we start, I do think there is a lot of upside left. I think we've got a huge parabolic move ahead of us. Potentially in the next 1 to 3 months, things go absolutely nuts in the same way as at the end of 2017, maybe even more crazy because everything is bigger right now. And after that, I do expect that we will get another crash, potentially another bear market, and a big one. So you have to be prepared for that. So I made this little spreadsheet over here comparing 2017 to 2021. What is different? Why could it be different this time? So first of all, the amount of people involved in cryptocurrency is just completely different this time around. In 2017, there were maybe around 50 or 60 million. I don't have the exact stats, but it was something around there. Right? And now we have around 300 million. Maybe it's a little bit more at this point in time. You can see over here on this AAA as of 2021, we estimate crypto global ownership to be about 300 million. I think it might be a little bit more, but anyway, close enough. So what we have here, the difference is we have at least 6 times more participants in the market, and as the euphoria kicks in, I think that number will grow rapidly. Simply also why? Well, there's much more awareness, there's much more history, and there's much more capacity for exchanges. Back in 2017, there were a limited amount of exchanges, and they basically didn't have the capacity to onboard new people during the boom. There was literally people who were selling exchange accounts to other people for like a single Bitcoin because people couldn't create a new account to be able to trade and to be able to buy and sell. That is how crazy it was. They literally had to close new registrations. And that is obviously not the case this time around. There's a lot more exchanges, and the existing exchanges have grown a lot and they have increased their capacity a lot. So that means there's a lot more room to onboard new people as the euphoria and the mania continues to grow. Then another huge difference that we have now compared to 2017 is the amount of stable coins. It wasn't really a huge thing back in 2017. In fact, there was just under $1 billion or around about $1 billion worth of stable coins at the peak of the market. I'll show you in a second. And right now we have more than $140 billion in stable coins. So heading over to CoinGecko over here, you can see the chart of the stable coins, how that has grown. And right over here at the end of the 2017 boom at the mania, we're about maybe $1 to $1.5 billion worth of stable coins. You can see where we're at right now, 143, almost $144 billion worth of stable coins. Now, stable coins, the market cap for this is different to the market cap of cryptocurrencies, because with stable coins, the market cap represents a 1-to-1 real market capitalization of money. So this is 144 billion that can go into the markets, versus if you have, for example, $1 trillion market cap in Bitcoin, it doesn't mean you can actually sell all the Bitcoin and get $1 trillion out of it. The market cap with cryptos is different compared to stablecoins. So I don't know what the exact number is. I've heard estimates of, you know, a single $1 billion of market cap in stablecoins could be worth 10 billion or 20 billion, maybe even as much as $30 billion worth of market cap if it goes into a cryptocurrency. So 144 billion is sitting on the sidelines. There's no guarantee that that is going to flow into the markets at all, but it is there and it can very easily move to an exchange and get converted into cryptocurrency. So as the hype and the mania kicks in, it is very possible that a percentage or maybe even a large percentage of this 144 billion that is already sitting there can also flow into the markets, which could create a massive run to the upside. Then obviously the differences are, well, there's a huge amount of things that have happened in the last 4 years around the world economically. Obviously the money printing and the stimulus around the world has gone absolutely insane. Trillions and trillions and trillions have been printed. Inflation is here. People can see it in the grocery stores. That's going up. The prices of stocks and assets are going up as a result of the inflation, of course. So that is also a huge factor that I think contributes to why people are buying Bitcoin, because the inflation is here. How do you protect your wealth? Well, you need assets. If people start putting a percentage of their wealth into Bitcoin, there's only 21 million Bitcoin, and a scarce, limited supply and increasing demand means the price has to go up. Obviously, what's different now is we actually have literal billionaires who are talking about crypto, who are investing in it. We have institutions, we have funds, we have banks. All of that is here. So, yes, fundamentally, there is a huge amount of difference between this cycle and where we are right now compared to 4 years ago. But, and this is where the but comes in, human emotions always repeat. The market cycle and the psychology repeats. So bringing up the psychology of a market cycle, this one was by Binance, but it's pretty similar all the way around. And the market, doesn't matter which market, whether it's crypto, forex, stocks, whatever it is, commodities, they oscillate between the whole spectrum of emotions, between complete anger and depression at the bottom of a bear market and complete thrill and euphoria at the top of a bull market. And it always goes like this. So most people end up buying at the very top. This happens every single cycle. It happened at the end of 2017. Most retail investors, so basically the dumb money who doesn't pay attention, who only FOMOs in, who only buys because they're seeing it everywhere and they're seeing it go up and up and they see it on TV. By the time it gets that crazy, everyone starts to buy in. It creates a huge hype cycle. Those people buy in at the top and then it starts to cycle down. So we have gone through the entire bear market where we went through capitulation, anger, depression for multiple years. It went through this period of a 3-year sideways trading and then it started going higher and we got to the disbelief, it's a sucker's rally, and maybe we went to the hope part. And I think we've passed the optimism part. I mean, we're back at all-time highs. We had the sell-off, which was basically a bear trap. You can actually see it a little bit better on this chart. It's easier to see. What we had over here, I believe in May, was the first sell-off. It was the bear trap. When we went to 65, 66,000, we had the sell-off. It had a huge fear associated with it. A lot of people were saying the bull run is over, and this ended up being the bear trap. We are now back above the previous high where we were in May, and I think we got this whole move ahead of us, but afterwards, the cycle will repeat. In my opinion, it's going to crash back down and we're going to go through all those different phases. So I think we are somewhere, if I had to guess, at the stage between enthusiasm and greed, and probably a little bit closer towards greed, but there's still a little bit fear in the market. I mean, Ethereum is at all-time highs and people aren't really talking about it. They're not like crazy euphoric about it yet. Bitcoin has set a new all-time high and it's still pretty quiet. So I think only once we start getting, maybe close to $100,000 or maybe Bitcoin breaks $100,000, I think that's when it really accelerates and we get that huge parabolic blow off where we start to see, greed, delusion, new paradigm. It's going to go up forever. I'm going to get rich. I can quit my job. I can, buy mansions and yachts and helicopters and everything like that. And then the market peaks and it starts to drop back down. And like I've shown you, yes, fundamentally there is a difference between the cycles. Yes, there's more adoption, there's more users, a lot more money is coming. And I think crypto is here to stay, digital assets. There's no kind of denying that at this point in time. And I think it's going to get much, much bigger over the next 5 to 10 years. But that doesn't mean it's going to go up in one straight line. It means I think there's still going to be massive booms and massive busts. Otherwise, it would be too easy. No way everyone gets rich. And the people who buy in at the top, who are the dumb money, are the exit liquidity for the smart money who bought in at the lows of the bear market and who have been accumulating throughout the bear market. That is just how the market cycles work. So you can see here the stock to flow model that Plan B has been sharing for the last year and a half already very accurately is playing out. And you can see we are staying within those bands. So we haven't had the overshoot to the upside deviation of the stock to flow model. And once we get that, well, we should get a pullback again below the bands to the downside. It works like that every time. It shoots up, pulls back, shoots up, pulls back, shoots up, pulls back, and we need the overshoot and then the inevitable pullback. Here's another way of looking at it, again by TechDev52 on Twitter. He creates very good charts here comparing the different cycles of the different years, and you can see how incredibly similar all the cycles have been: 2013, 2017, and 2021. Exactly the same with the Fibonacci ratios. You can see over here we had a move, a pullback, a move, and then a huge blow off top. Similar thing here. We had this move between this range and a massive blow off top, and a very similar at this point. Again, there's no guarantee that it is going to repeat, but so far it has been so incredibly similar that I think the chance is likely that it is going to repeat based on not only the charts, but everything, combining it all together, the sentiment, the adoption, the fundamentals, what's happening in the space too. It is likely that we are going to see some sort of repeat, and how high it's going to go, if it's going to go to that 2.272, we don't know, right? But $180,000 to $200,000, there are a lot of people who are calling for that for this bull market. And again, if this time was different, why are the cycles repeating in such a similar way? You can see over here, if you match the 2017 fractal, the price action over there, why is it following it so perfectly? And if it continues to follow it perfectly, why would it not follow it on the way down? Because we all know what happened at the end of 2017 after Bitcoin peaked. It came crashing down. So here is the chart of a Bitcoin, and you can see here was 2017, which obviously now looks very small in comparison on a linear chart to where we are now. But we have just crossed past the May high. You can see over here we're pretty much in all-time high territory. And if we mirror this and we match that and we overlay this 2017 price action in the same way I just showed you with TechDev's chart, you can see over here how similar is this. And if that is indeed going to repeat, we are about to have a massive blow off top to the upside, but once it's done, I highly suspect it is going to come back down again. So again, it is entirely possible that Bitcoin goes over 100,000. Maybe it goes to 130, 150, 180, maybe 200. I don't know how high it can go. In a bull market, in these parabolic blow off tops, it can go a lot higher than people expect. But when it's done, it usually comes crashing back down, and I don't think this time will be different. How low it's going to go, we don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, on the weekly chart, the thing that you can see is the 200-week moving average has provided support pretty much throughout the bear market. Not on the specific chart, this is Bittrex. If you look at Bitstamp, it goes all the way back down. So at some point, I suspect that the downside could be the 200-week moving average. And of course, this continues to move higher as the price goes higher. Every week it's above it. So that means maybe by the time the bear market crash comes, possibly sometime next year is when I'm expecting it, that this could be somewhere between maybe 30 and 40,000, maybe a little bit higher. So maybe the bottom of the bear market is somewhere between $30,000 and $60,000, and maybe in the meantime it goes way up. But the whole point of this video is to illustrate to you that people who are saying this time is different, that it's going to continue forever, that we're not going to get a crash, all that kind of stuff, be cautious of that and understand your investing strategy. Understand what you're doing, what your goals are, what your targets are. Look, if you're just buying Bitcoin and you're planning to hold it for the next 10 years or 20 years and you never want to sell, maybe you don't care about any of this, and maybe you don't care about any sort of swings in the short term. But if you are like most people and you want to realize profits and you want to increase your risk capital, then maybe you have a strategy where when things go parabolic, it might be smart to remove your initial capital to lock in some profits, maybe even lock in a large amount of profits and close a lot of your positions to be able to buy back in again lower. Of course, keep in mind there's always risk associated with both trading and holding, right? If you're going to hold and your portfolio goes into insane amounts, but you're never going to sell, there's a chance you write it back down 50 or 80 or 90% of the value in the same way that happened in 2018. But if you try and trade, there's also obviously a risk that if you lock in profits or you do take profits, that you sell too early and that the price might not even get back to where you sold already. So imagine you sold at 66,000, it goes to 200,000, and the bottom becomes 70,000. That way you'll never get below your exit point. So you do have to be smart with these things. You have to create a strategy and you have to plan that out. I'm just saying, if things go absolutely parabolic in the next 2 or 3 months and you have life-changing gains, be smart about it and don't get caught in the trap and the narrative where everyone says it's just going to keep going up forever. We're not going to get a crash. We're not going to get a bear market. Every single 4-year cycle, we have had a massive crash and bear market. Bitcoin has dropped down more than 80% multiple times. Even earlier this year, in May, Bitcoin dropped more than 50%. Altcoins dropped 70 to 80% from their peak. Now, we were lucky that in May it was a mid-cycle sell-off, the bull run was still in play, and obviously we're pretty much back and a little bit above where we were in May before the sell-off. But I do believe that after this parabolic blow-off top, once we get the crash, it's probably going to be a long time before we get back to those levels and above them once again. So take all of this into consideration. Be smart, be careful. There's a lot of money that can be made, but it is also very easy to make mistakes. And obviously it's not nice to have the regret of, you could have had life-changing money. You were there, it was there, but the greed kicked in. You didn't take profits, you didn't sell, and all that profit disappeared once again. And maybe you even end up below where you initially put your portfolio in. So be very careful with all of this. I know it's a bit of a serious topic. I know you'd probably rather hear, it's going to the moon and it's never going to stop like a lot of these other influencers and people on social media are saying, but I think this is the more cautious thing. Obviously, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I was around in the 2017 boom and bust, and I can tell you it is not fun to watch a portfolio drop by 90%. I saw many people and even friends and family that I know who had big portfolios who watched it drop by 80, 90%, even more, and the stress that comes with that, the emotional trauma basically of having to hold through a bear market and all of that is not enjoyable. So be smart about this, be careful. I think we have a huge, exciting next couple of weeks, next couple of months ahead of us with potentially much higher prices. But when that happens, be prepared, have your strategy ready, and stick to that. So guys, thanks for watching. Please do smash the like button, get this video out to as many people as you can, share it on social media, email it to your friends. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.